Title: The Fading Pulse of Zalaxia, a luminary elegy in the twilight of the crystalline planet Zalaxia, where skies shimmered with auroras born of ionized storms. The once revered luminari faced their quietest hour. Their legacy had been forged in the fires of the Great Collision, a civil war that ravaged the planet until their rebellion, armed with salvaged alien tech from the vanquished Krill Dominion, brought fragile unity. Now their pulsar rifles and energy shields, symbols of salvation, were becoming relics in a world yearning to heal. Deputy Premier Arlen Voss, his voice resonant in the holographic chambers of the Stellar Chronicle, spoke with weary resolve. "The Luminary's arsenal fractures our unity," he declared, his words broadcast across Zalaxia's neural networks. "Their weapons were born of necessity, but now they cast shadows over our future." On the 50th anniversary of the war's end, Voss unveiled a startling truth. The Luminary's influence was crumbling not from external force, but from within. "Two worlds now exist," Voss continued. "One clings to the old power, the other seeks a path unshackled from war." His words ignited fervor. The sundered faction, led by the fiery orator Jara Helios, rallied in the irradiated canyons of the scarred expanse. "Without the Luminary's shields, the Krill will return." Helios thundered, her followers brandishing makeshift weapons fused with dormant Krill tech. Meanwhile, the Harmonium Alliance, a coalition of scientists and pacifists, staged luminous protests in the floating cities of Nexus Prime. "We cannot rebuild if we worship tools of destruction," cried their leader Talara Vin, her voice amplified by sonic projectors. Yet the heart of the conflict lay with the Luminari themselves. Commander Kael Voran, his visage etched with the faint glow of quantum scars, addressed his dwindling cadre in a hidden bunker beneath the Valley of Echoes. "Our weapons were never ours," he confessed, holographic maps of Zalaxia's decaying ionosphere flickering around him. "They are parasites tied to the Krill's psychic hive mind. To keep them is to let the Dominion reclaim us." Voran revealed a clandestine operation. The Luminari were dismantling their armories, diverting energy to terraform the valley, a wasteland still haunted by Krill radiation. The truth, however, was a labyrinth. Decades earlier, the Luminari had discovered the dark symbiosis of their tech. The Krill's gifts had embedded dormant code, a backdoor for the Dominion's return. Voran's mentor, the legendary General Myra Velm, had sacrificed herself to sever the primary psychic link, but fragments remained. Now, Voran's faction worked in secret, sabotaging their own weapons while the sundered faction decried them as traitors. Amid the chaos, a new player emerged. The Galactic Coalition, an alliance of starfaring civilizations, descended upon Zalaxia. Their emissary, the cyborg diplomat Zerkaval, demanded full disarmament. "Your quantum cores destabilize this sector," Kaval intoned, his voice a synthetic blend of 1,000 species. "Comply or face isolation." The Coalition's ultimatum fractured Zalaxia's parliament, with some viewing them as saviors, others as colonialists. Yet Zalaxia's hope flickered in unexpected places. In the gutters of the molten city Pyrus, a young engineer named Lirasol forged a breakthrough. Using shards of decommissioned Luminari tech, she created a generator that purified Krill radiation into fertile energy. "The answer isn't in clinging to the past," she proclaimed, her invention sparking grassroots uprisings. Sol's labs became sanctuaries where Sundered and Harmonium youth collaborated, their rivalries diluted by curiosity. Voran, now a fugitive, sought Sol out. "The valley's terraforming is failing," he admitted, revealing cracks in the planet's crust. "The Coalition's scanners will mistake it for weapons testing. We need your generators now." Together, they infiltrated the Sky Spire, a Luminari stronghold, to upload Sol's blueprints to the planetary network. The mission ended in tragedy. Helios's militants ambushed them, destroying the data. Voran vanished, presumed dead, while Sol fled with a single backup drive. The Coalition, impatient, deployed enforcement drones. Cities buckled under their siege, but in the chaos, Sol's generator spread. Farmers in the valley, defying Helios' wrath, implanted them into the soil. To everyone's awe, the machines did more than purify. They awakened dormant krill biotech, weaving alien flora with Zalaxian ecosystems. Bioluminescent forests erupted overnight, their roots stabilizing the tectonic rifts. At the crisis's peak, Voron re-emerged, his body augmented with stolen coalition tech. In a final broadcast, he stood in the revitalized valley, now a mosaic of alien and native life. The Luminari's purpose was never to rule, he said, his voice echoing across the planet. It was to evolve. Let our collapse be the soil for your rebirth. With that, he activated a dormant krill warship beneath the valley, using its engine to amplify Sol's generators. The resulting pulse neutralized the psychic code in every weapon, rendering them inert. The coalition withdrew, stunned. The sundered faction dissolved, Helios retreating into exile. Zalaxia's people, though scarred, turned to the future, rebuilding not with shields and rifles, but with hybrid forests and shared purpose. Epilogue. Decades later, the Valley of Echoes was a pilgrimage site. The warship's skeleton, overgrown with crystalline vines, housed the Archive of Transformation, where Voron's final logs were stored. Lyra Sol, now an elder, tended the generators, their hum harmonizing with the whispers of the trees. The monument's inscription gleamed, "Heroes do not fall, they transform." And in the shadows a new mystery stirred, whispers of the Krill Dominion, not as conquerors, but refugees fleeing a darker force. But that, as Sol often said, was a story for another age.